First off, I apologize if my voice sounds a little off. I'm just getting over a cold, which honestly is the main reason why there's a delay in uploading. Between the coughing and the losing my voice, it put a thorough wrench in my recordings. Can't really do videos without my voice, you know? Regardless, it's time for the latest installment of How the Heck Am I Still Alive? Since Thanksgiving happened recently, and I missed doing a Halloween video, I figured today's video should be something special. But, I don't really have any good Thanksgiving stories. My family life is actually kind of boring. At least, it was when I was a kid. Obviously, it isn't now, but that really isn't the point. I guess it would be appropriate to talk about things I'm thankful for. Like how I'm thankful for my family and a new home, and oh, yeah, I'm thankful that I haven't died yet. Because 2 totaled cars later, and I'm still well and walking around. Oh, now those are some interesting stories. I mean, I've never been all that lucky with cars. My first car had originally been my mom's car. It was a nice, dependable 2001 Dodge Durango, one that we simply called Dodge. But it got traded in within the first few months I started driving it, so I didn't have it for long. I mean, it was almost a decade old, so my dad thought it was time for a new one. Then I had a pretty decent Hyundai. Don't remember what year or model, but we called it Silver. Mostly because it was silver, and whenever we accelerated, my sister and I would go, "Hi-ho, Silver, away!" Unfortunately, there was a short in the computer system that no one seemed to be able to find, and it frequently left me stranded at school because the battery kept dying out on me. So that one got traded in as well, and I finally got handed down what had to be one of the most dependable cars I'd ever driven. A 2009 Kia Rio 5 that we had called Mighty Mouse. Tiny car with a lot of get up and go. I absolutely loved Mighty Mouse. It was the car that I drove through most of my senior year of high school, and I even started college with it. To me, it was small but amazing. And I always giggled whenever I had to floor it just to get up a steep hill. But, alas, it was not meant to be. It was my first week of college, right after my last class on Thursday to be exact. I remember, because I was so ready to get home. Keep in mind, I was still relatively new to driving. I had had my license for a little over a year by this point, and I'll admit I'm a tad bit reckless. It wouldn't be the first time I leaped before I looked, but those are stories for another video. Either way, in order to get onto the road to get home, I had to cross the street to get into the lanes going to the left. This meant driving across what would be the oncoming lanes for me on a well-traveled street in the afternoon. Easy enough, right? Well, I managed to muck it up. Rather royally, in fact. I had looked left to check for oncoming traffic, then looked right for traffic on the opposite side. I did not look left a second time. I did not see the Tundra coming at me at 40 miles an hour. What I did hear, however, was its horn blaring as it hit me on my driver's side, knocking not only my car a few feet to the right, but my backpack and books to the passenger side of the back seat, and my glasses right off my face into the floor of the passenger side in the front seat. Safe to say, I was shell-shocked. I remember all of the airbags next to my head had been deployed, and with the windows knocked out, and new little bloody spots on my hands. I was able to turn the car off, but couldn't get the keys out of the ignition, nor could I open my glove box when a police officer asked for my insurance. Thankfully, I was able to walk away, though I was still taken to the hospital to get checked out and, well, recuperate a bit. I remember distinctly going from the shell-shocked stage to the "oh my god, my dad's going to kill me for wrecking the car" stage. He didn't, thankfully, and picked me up when I was discharged a few hours later. It was at that point that I realized something, and quickly went into the "oh god, I could have died" stage. It was something that I recalled very quickly, but hit me about as hard as the truck had. Namely, if those airbags hadn't been there, I would have smashed my head on the grill of that truck. That's right. The truck didn't just hit my driver's side. It hit me on the driver's door. And seeing the pictures of the damage later with my front wheels going in opposite directions only solidified that fact. I wasn't allowed to drive for a few months after that, and once I was able to return to the streets by myself, I was a much more careful driver. Once I was allowed to drive again, I was handed down yet another car. This would be the car that I would proceed to drive for the next 6 years. It was a 2009 Chevy HHR, one that we called Pocket. Short for trans-dimensional pocket, since even being a relatively small car, it could hold a lot of stuff. Yet another car I absolutely loved. It got me through the rest of college, to and from conventions, one having it packed with 5 people, including me, and all of our post-convention stuff. And even through a delivery job that I actually enjoyed. Unfortunately, it would be the delivery job that would kill my trusty Pocket. And on December 23rd, no less, 2 days before Christmas. It was fairly late that night. I had just finished a late delivery due to some issues at the pickup, and I was calling HQ to let them know and why it had happened, while I was heading back for another pickup. So, it was already dark, and the weather wasn't the best. I kid you not when I compare the fog to what Silent Hill has. Thick, hard to see through, and one of the main causes of the accident, I think. You see, Pocket was black. So it was probably hard to see me when I pulled into the intersection. The car coming up to my right was also black, so I definitely didn't see her speeding down the road until she hit me full force on the passenger side of my engine block. 6 years and a cooler head later thankfully made it easier to handle the situation. I had my passenger/assistant go check on the other driver while I called 911 and assessed the damages on my own vehicle. I was missing a bumper, Pocket was making a strange hissing noise, and I found that I was having trouble starting the car back up. There was obviously some pretty severe damage to the engine block, so I didn't have much of a choice but to leave it for the time being and focus on calling my sister for help. One statement and many calls later, and I managed to get the car towed, and myself and my friend home. But we got the call a few days later giving us the bad news. Pocket was too old and too damaged to actually repair at a reasonable cost, so we had to declare my trusty car totaled. It was a sad day indeed. Everyone in our household had gotten pretty attached to it. But there wasn't much of a choice. We went to finalize the paperwork, clear Pocket out, and say goodbye. So, yeah, I am pretty thankful, both for being alive and, well, I guess for those 2 cars. Mighty Mouse for literally saving my life, and Pocket for being such a dependable car. I hope you all had a safe holiday, and always wear your seatbelts.
Thank you for watching another one of my videos. I really hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like, share, and comment, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this.